Hello everyone. Now, what would you do if you did have enough resources? Money, I believe. Um, Resources that are enough to fulfill what you wanted to do. And I'm talking about lifestyle, but business style. So, in terms of martial attitude, of course, I started with the Kimopolo, and then in time, across the suit in linen before, and then Kimopolo later on, the idea developed on and on. And I really believe that this endeavor is really about what I have imagined all my life. But my life, of course, is made up of many other things. They are all related one to another. Let's say, for instance, I always loved martial arts. Therefore, when I created a design for a clothing line, I thought about the Far Eastern lines to readapt them to a Western wearability. I always been passionate about fashion, so I like to understand how fashion can be done better. Now there is a lot of talking about sustainability, but then sustainability has to be understood what it is precisely. And I hear, listen, read a lot of people talking about the same topic, and we are going somewhere, but we don't know exactly where we're going. And on the other hand, of course, I'm a massage therapist, so these took me closer to the martial arts in terms of movement. So even the design of Kimopolo is made up for a better freedom of movement. And to have a slick design so that it can be used by many other people in different environments. And later on, I'm thinking about more and more closely to a distribution in the golf sport, because it's so elegant, so different, so peculiar that you will stand out when you are going on a course court with a Kimopolo on. And there is the tennis, there is the horse riding. And these endeavors all are complicated because, of course, they take a lot of time, and I have limited time, not only limited resources. So the question about resources is about important, because if I had more money, let's say, what shall I do? Shall I delegate everything on top of one thing and concentrate and focus on my passion for movies, for instance? Or shall I put so much effort in creating my vision, so a protocol for visually impaired and blind people in order to have a better understanding of their surroundings and space just in front of them, so with touch and within touch they can better behave and be more confident in any situation of their daily life. All this is one into another, and I'm really thinking over what shall I do. Let's say that tomorrow I do have the resources. Well, I do believe that I will focus on Kimopolo first of all, and Kimopolo number one, Kimopolo Hong Kong, Kimopolo Master, and perhaps a rebranding would occur. Would change the product? Not really. Would it make it better? Most definitely. And the resources are needed because I do understand, after a few years attempting to break into the fashion industry, that at some extent resources are necessary in order to do fashion shows, in order to speak with the people, in order to get relevant into fashion directories, or to get the attention of bloggers and personalities into the industry that really can help you out. Many people are extremely interesting chaps to talk with and to hang around with. and of course they know people. You know, it's a network. I mean, there is no news in this. But why you need resources? Just to make some fancy dinners? I don't think so. So Kimopolo needs funding to address a specific public, let's say in what is called a niche market. The golf industry, for instance, would be, you know, a dream come true. You know, the idea to create, as I was speaking about in the last videos, Kimopolo that fits anyone, regardless of body type, age, background, geographic background, so body shape generally, or fitness level. Well, that's a task on its own. And this is why I am about to start a Patreon page, which is something completely new for me, because I really want to give the proper attention to the side projects that are connected with Kimopolo, and they are not at some extent. For instance, of course, there is the idea of speaking about fashion in a sustainable way, but there is also the philosophy, the history of not only martial arts, but what is warfare, for instance, and the philosophy that has driven civilization throughout it. And the doubts that this compels arising, I want to talk about them in another podcast, as well as I want to share with you, with as many of you as possible, my project on my vision. So a project that is I've been working on for a couple of years now, and is starting to a next level, let's say. So a Patreon page could be the perfect place, let's say, in this era of digital, perfect place where to share content which is valuable for different people according to the theme that I'm touching. And everyone go around the same idea of a lifestyle that is about curiosity, about creativity, and in my case about fashion, because the physical aspect of my creativity become fashion. Instead, my fun, my intellectual is driven to talk with people, to investigate questions. I'm Italian, so the idea is to create not really a blog, but let's say a podcast, just to make it clear, either in English or in Italian, addressing different instances. So martial attitude, it will become kind of a magazine, an online magazine on Patreon page, divided by themes, and the physical aspect of this martial attitude magazine will be Kimopolo in lines and designs. So each Kimopolo will have a different name, as of course is quite natural. I didn't want to go for numbers, so I'm thinking about a differentiation by name given by the inspiration of the overall look. And this is something that it could work. It could work because the resources are needed. Now, if I do have the resources, I would go for breaking down the sizing, a new website that can allow everyone to browse very quickly and understandably, and to give the customer service that a product that you are creating, you want to receive. You know, like you were the customer of your own. I created Kimopolo because I was not finding one. So most definitely, I would like to receive the level of service that I would have liked to have for any product that I purchased. Of course, it's a task. In fashion, it's an incredible task. I am terribly scared about what's happening now, because, you know, not only retailing is in difficulties because it's plunging Many retail companies are now working very well, the web, let's say the Amazon prototype of distribution, which is in the future, is putting strains on the fashion industries because of the returns. So there are returns sometimes as high as 40%. So what you do with the merchandise that has been returned, and it cannot be used anymore because it's closing, for instance. It can be renovated, it can be reconditioned, it can be exchanged, okay, fine. But these are the tasks that are about to be pulled out if you do have enough resources. So in my case, in the case of Kimopolo, the resources will go not only to create a better Kimopolo, but to have the website, the distribution, the power to get into a marketplace. Because the marketplace is very wide, theoretically speaking is immense, is global, but then realistically speaking, you are addressing at least one marketplace, but the marketplace must allow you to get there. And by this I mean that the marketplace itself gives you, let's say, its permission to operate within a certain community. So the resources, in my opinion, would be needed in order to address a certain marketplace and from there move on. Instead, the Patreon page, I will keep you posted on this, it will be more a magazine. So Martial Attitude will become a magazine where to talk about different topics and that you can support with very little in order to have more content and to understand a bit more what is the philosophy around a project. So I'm sharing this with you because it's a strange change. I mean, I thought about this for so long, and it's difficult to believe that your ideas are going to change. You try to focus to understand one single task, and you understand that the tasks are so much more, and you really need help. And you really need help because your daily life is made, of course, of family, of commitments, of work commitments, and everything has to build up to a sustainable point. So I hope you will like this idea. Let me know your opinion about this. And look, if you are having a question about my Patreon page, or if you like to discuss specifically some topics over others, please let me know and I will try to do my best. You take care.